Thank you so much. Good morning. I'd first like to take an opportunity to take off my tag. And then to thank our hosts, our fantastic partners at Keshet, for having me here to speak to you. It's a great thrill for me to be here in Jerusalem and to have the opportunity to commune with so many amazing creative people from Israel and around the world, as well as a bunch of people I see all the time in Los Angeles anyway. If you'll indulge me, I know we're running a little behind schedule, but I'd still love to show you what we've been up to on the unscripted side at TNT and TBS, and I have a clip if we can play it.
We're solving murder cases on TV, for real.
Here we go.
We go into these small towns, reevaluate all the evidence, and see if it can lead us anywhere.
We're changing people's lives.
We have a job opening now for Director of Brand Marketing. The candidates don't know this, but one of them is actually an insider.
We're gonna save this business.
Eater has definitely helped open my eyes.
Pressure to make it in Nashville can bring out the worst in people.
The moment that you try to succeed, claws come out. You get a bunch of Southern women in one room, and there is bound to be some fireworks. My two guilty pleasures are my lash extensions and shooting guns, of course.
You can run, you can hide, you're gonna live like an animal till I catch you.
Dick. My goal is to get home safe to my family and make sure that my brothers, they get home safe to their families as well.
You are not alone in this. As brothers we will stand and we'll hold your hand.
Who will sit atop the throne of games?
And to be crowned king of the nerds.
Nerdgasm.
Chess. Then somebody has to leave.
I may be the hardest working man in show business. We're gonna burn Vegas down. And I got to look good.
Trust me.
You look like you lying.
Trust me, I'm a gangster. Look over your shoulder at that girl. You just won $5,000. Let the joke begin.
Can you deal with it?
Thank you. As you saw from the reel, we at TNT and TBS have been pushing hard into the unscripted realm, exploring a variety of different types of original programs on each of our two networks. Over the past decade, unscripted television has become much more than a novelty or a way to fill program hours cheaply. It is a mirror of society, a vibrant form of entertainment, and especially for younger viewers, a vital means of understanding the world around them. It is also an enormous business. Just as unscripted has transformed the landscape of television, the unscripted business itself is currently being transformed, like so many other businesses, by globalization. That's what I'd like to make some brief remarks about today. As recently as 2 years ago, The Economist estimated that 90% of truly global formats emanated from just 3 markets: the UK, the US, and the Netherlands. According to their study, the UK alone was responsible for roughly half of the formats that have gone on to global success, while the US and the Netherlands were each responsible for about 20%. First of all, how crazy is it that The Economist publishes a study on reality TV? That tells you how much we've matured as a media sector. But I would argue that the dominance of those 3 countries is already on the wane as we enter a world in which the next American Idol can emanate from literally anywhere. Why is this happening? Part of it is certainly the globalization of pop culture generally, as facilitated by social media and the internet. When the most viewed video in YouTube history belongs to a Korean rapper, you know that the parochial boundaries of traditional media are already collapsing around us. But the other reason why the next great wave of global formats appears to be emanating from places like Israel, Scandinavia, and Latin America is that the big three territories have in some ways fallen victim to their own success. Let me speak to the US market. Survivor is currently in its 27th season. American Idol is about to start its 13th. The Bachelor is about to start its 18th. Dancing with the Stars in its 17th. And so on and so on. These enduring franchises not only keep the fortunes of massive companies afloat, they also suck up a lot of space on a broadcast schedule, which is necessarily limited. So for each cycle that these shows persevere, a new experiment remains untaken. On cable, on the other hand, there's plenty of experimentation, but most of it has been in the docu-space, which doesn't lend itself as well to formatting. It's hard to convince a foreign broadcaster that they should pay to adapt the underlying IP of Swamp People or Keeping Up with the Kardashians, although, if given the opportunity, I'm not above trying. The net effect is that the hunt for the next great format has shifted to countries where an experimental culture is still in place, even on the most prominent broadcasters. Israel is certainly among the foremost of these, and we are proud that one of our biggest unscripted hits to date, the hilarious hidden camera game show Deal With It, is based on a format that began right here. So, oh, thank you. So, how do we, in our hunt for the next breakout hit, comprehend and engage with this emerging global marketplace of ideas? After all, keeping up with the programming of 3 territories is hard enough. Keeping up with the programming in scores of countries is close to impossible. One answer is through conferences like this one, but the other has to exist in the virtual realm. Sites like The Wit are leading the way toward the evolution of industry-accepted, secure, professionally organized digital platforms on which producers and networks can easily upload and view programs from around the world, and then contact one another. This may be a tough pill for some companies to swallow at first. The democratization of access has its pitfalls. But this digital interchange will be profitable not only for our industry as a whole, but for whomever constructs the dominant platform to fill this need. As the intellectual property side of the unscripted television business is becoming increasingly globalized, so is the physical production side. Of course, there have always been formats like Survivor and The Amazing Race that demand shooting in foreign and exotic locales as an inherent part of their creative. But the really interesting efficiencies arise when a company like Endemol builds a single Wipeout set in Argentina and then shoots multiple different national versions of the show using the same facility and often most of the same crew. As much as there have been examples of this hub model over the course of the past decade, I think it's really only just beginning to take off, and now virtually any country can be in the game, given the right combination of tax incentives, a local production community, and enough direct flights. Don't underestimate the importance of enough direct flights. As someone who's been given the explicit directive to launch lots of new formatted shows from wherever I can find them, I personally find all of this terribly exhilarating and think it's a great time to be in unscripted television. After all, any industry in which dynamism and open-mindedness are not only admirable traits to cultivate, but the essence of a sound business strategy, is an exciting one to be in. Hopefully I've done something to get us back on time, because I know my remarks were relatively brief. If there are any questions or time for questions, I can take one. Otherwise, we can let people get to their coffee break. I can't see out in the audience. No? Very well. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate it.